Hello, this is GILA. Right now, as I'm recording this on the 1st of December, the Michigan Senate is hearing testimony from a large number of witnesses to the huge voter fraud in the 2020 US election. This follows a meeting of the Arizona State Legislature yesterday, Monday, with various witnesses of fraud, and the Pennsylvania State Legislature similarly last week. It is clear that an enormous amount of electoral fraud, also intimidation, took place to change the result fraudulently in the important swing states from a landslide for President Trump to a modest win for Joe Biden and the Democrats, with a most vapid presidential candidate figurehead for an authoritarian, socialist and undemocratic coup against the majority of American voters who backed Trump. And yet, after 4 years of divisive, hateful and bigoted partisan rhetoric against the legally elected US President of the USA by nearly all mainstream media and growing censorship of anyone not supporting a leftist worldview by the major social media companies, with the Russia collusion hoax, Mueller partisan witch hunt and false impeachment, perhaps it is no real surprise, albeit a deeply shocking one, that this long-term and continuing coup, ultimately against the very existence of the USA as a free republic, is culminating in a frankly treasonous attempt by Democrats to seize power illegitimately through fraud, and accompanied by an attempt by mainstream media to cover this over with false accusations against any concerned American patriots, as well as censorship against those people countering this dishonest narrative by social media, including tweets by the American president himself. If the legislatures of the swing states where this huge fraud took place actually do what the US Constitution provides for them to do as a remedy for electoral fraud, this whole nightmare can be rightfully corrected by appointing electors directly, and the clear and legal wishes of most American voters actually respected by their choice of electors by the state legislatures, with President Trump returned for his second term. It is so vital now that all Americans who care about freedom and human rights being respected in the USA not only stand up for integrity and legality in this election, but refuse to be cowed by threats and intimidation by hateful leftist bigots. The fight is difficult and will probably get extremely nasty before it's finally resolved. But it is essential, not only for America, but for the whole world, that full and equal human rights are both restored and retained in the land of the free and the home of the brave. And, if ultimately necessary, this coup must be overturned by lethal force from the US military if there is no other alternative. And all those people behind the fraud, however low or high up the food chain, also need to be brought to justice and to pay for their crimes, not just against President Trump, the GOP, Americans, but indeed the whole free world, of which the USA is still the lead nation with huge influence around the globe. After all that has happened and is still happening in America today, no quarter can be given to any of those traitors who are seeking to overturn the true will of the American people and destroy the USA as a free democracy. The stakes could not be higher. Thank you so much for listening. You're welcome to post this video on any other channel which supports freedom and human rights. Have a good evening. Goodbye.